the violence. That's the message hundreds shared at the 30th Men's March Against Violence. It's personal for many, including the mother of a victim.
DOH Department of Health report has found that in the lifespan of folks in our community statewide, that about 13% of our community statewide in Hawaii have experienced intimate partner violence.
I'm Mikey, and today I'm a third-year law student, but while I was doing my undergraduate degree here at UH Manoa, I survived a 3.5-year abusive relationship. Sorry.
0.5 seconds, somewhere in America, someone is being beaten by a current or past intimate partner. The bell you hear in the background is symbolic of our collective desire for this violence to end.
Aloha, I'm Jairus Hedges, Dean of the John A. Burns School of Medicine. Last year, we saw so many individuals within Jabson and the greater community take the pledge to join the fight against domestic violence.
Looking at intimate partner violence in Hawaii, nursing is able to address it through different frameworks. IPV has a wide-reaching social, environmental, and economic effect. For example, studies show that IPV costs the U.S. nearly $3.6 trillion each year, with women losing about $104,000 throughout their lifetime due to healthcare costs and lost productivity. In Hawaii, where the cost of living is high, these economic burdens are even more pronounced. Nurses can be proactive in screening for IPV, understanding that these stressors and other ones such as housing instability and unemployment make it more difficult for IPV survivors to escape abusive situations. In terms of interprofessional education, nurses collaborate with other professionals such as social workers, other healthcare providers, as well as legal experts to provide holistic care for IPV survivors. This multi-level approach includes understanding IPV at the micro, meso, and macro levels, addressing at individual, community, and societal scales. Nurses also apply systems theory to understand IPV's interconnected nature within families, communities, and society. Using an ecological perspective, nurses assess how a patient's environmental factors, such as unsafe housing or a lack of transportation, can worsen their situation. Factors such as these can often trap IPV survivors, making it more difficult for them to seek help. Overall, by addressing IPV through these frameworks, nurses in Hawaii can provide more effective care that not only helps individuals, but also addresses broader and social-economic challenges.
IPV, also known as intimate partner violence, is a rising issue in Hawaii that is affecting society as a whole. Using the SEES approach, we can view IPV through a business approach. For example, socially, IPV disrupts lives and relationships. Victims often carry their trauma into the workplace, affecting engagement and morale, and most importantly, their focus. In Hawaii, young and low-income women are especially vulnerable when employees are suffering in silence. It breaks down team dynamics and increases turnover. With the rising population and limited housing, Hawaii's victims are trapped and it creates unsafe situations. Without access to stable housing, survivors may miss work or quit their job as a whole. Moreover, even if they could find a shelter near them, stress and trauma from that structure can carry over into the workplace, leading to emotional distress and reduced productivity. Lastly, economically, the cost of IPV is staggering, draining over $8 billion from the U.S. economy every year. In Hawaii, it shows up in absenteeism, low performance, and high healthcare costs, especially in businesses employing young adults. The financial burden affects not just individuals, but entire companies and industries as a whole.
Elementary education can play a significant role in addressing intimate partner violence through interprofessional education. IPE involves collaboration among different professionals such as teachers, social workers, healthcare providers, and law enforcement to create a comprehensive support system for children and families affected by IPV. Early childhood education plays a significant role in preventing IPV by fostering social and emotional skills in young children. Children who participate in quality early education programs are more likely to develop healthy relationships and effective communication skills. These programs often teach conflict resolution and empathy, which can help children understand and manage their emotions better. Additionally, early education can provide a supportive environment for children, reducing the likelihood of exposure to violence. Early childhood education indirectly reduces the economic burden of IPV. High-quality early childhood education programs significantly decrease the likelihood of children becoming involved in violent crime in later life. This reduces the costs associated with law enforcement and health care related to violence. Every non-fatal assault costs approximately $1,000 on average, with $2,822 lost in productivity. The long-term preventative effects translate into substantial economic. Early childhood education can create a safer and more supportive environment for children exposed to IPV. High-quality programs offer opportunities for early intervention and response, building trusting relationships with families and providing a safe haven for children. These settings can also implement trauma-informed practices and connect family with needed resources, helping the environmental impact of IPV on children's development and well-being. To support the cause, elementary education majors can take several actions. For one, education and awareness. They can educate themselves and their peers about the signs of IPV and its effects on children and families. This knowledge can help them recognize when students may be affected or experiencing violence in their homes. Creating safe spaces. In their future classrooms, they can create an environment that promotes safety, respect, and open communication. This includes fostering healthy relationships among students. Advocacy. They can advocate for school policies that address IPV, such as implementing programs that teach students about healthy relationships and providing resources for families in need. Collaboration with community resources. Working with local organizations that support victims of IPV can help them connect families to necessary resources and support systems.
Intimate partner violence is a complex psychological phenomenon influenced by interwoven social, economic, and environmental factors. From a psychological perspective, IPV is often rooted in power imbalances, trauma histories, and maladaptive coping mechanisms, such as aggression or control. Socioeconomically, individuals in poverty or with limited access to education and employment may experience a heightened stress and dependency, increasing vulnerability to both perpetrating and experiencing IPV. Environmentally, communities with weak legal protections, social isolation, or cultural norms that tolerate violence can perpetrate abusive dynamics. Understanding IPV through this manufactured lens is crucial for developing effective prevention and intervention strategies. Intimate partner violence, when viewed through an intereducational lens in psychology, highlights the importance of collaborative, cross-disciplinary education in understanding and addressing abuse. This approach integrates psychological theories with insights from health, social work, legal studies, and education to foster a more holistic understanding of IPV. By educating individuals across sectors, teachers, counselors, healthcare providers, and law enforcement about the psychological roots and warning signs of IPV, early intervention becomes more effective. It also emphasizes the role of continuous education in shifting cultural norms, promoting healthy relationships, and empowering victims through knowledge and supports networks. Intimate partner violence involves physical, emotional, and psychological harm by a current or former partner, and psychology plays a complex role in both its cause and its treatment. Psychological factors such as trauma, low self-esteem, attachment issues, and learned behaviors can contribute to both victim vulnerability and abusive behavior. However, psychology also offers powerful tools for healing and prevention. Through therapy, trauma-informed care, and interventions like cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, individuals can break cycles of abuse, rebuild self-worth, and form healthier relationships. Understanding the psychological roots of IPV is key to creating a long-term solution and support systems.
So today we're just advocating for against
Intimate partner violence.
what's that?
So intimate partner violence is when one person in a romantic relationship tries to hurt or control the other. There's like different aspects of abuse comes to ranges from physical abuse, emotional abuse, sexual abuse, and like control.
Also, maybe financial abuse.
That too. So intimate partner violence can happen to any person, regardless of their age, gender, background, ethnicity. It affects like a multitude of people, but it's also.
We're gonna cut the audio, so I don't know.
Okay, you took the survey already.
I took the survey. Just not sure on what we're trying to advocate against.
Have you heard about intimate partner violence before?
Yes.
Okay. What do you think it is, or what do you know about it?
I know that it is like an abusive relationship between you and your partner.
Okay, yeah, you pretty much got it down. So intimate partner violence is like a type of domestic violence in which, couples like, or one person in a relationship tries to harm the other. There's different like types of abuse that can be involved with it, like physical abuse, psychological abuse, sexual abuse.
From the information you have received today, what have you learned about intimate partner violence?
IPV refers to any form of physical, sexual, or psychological harm caused by a current or former partner. There are 3 signs: physical abuse, psychological abuse. Other signs may include financial control. You can reach out and let your friends know that you are concerned, don't judge or criticize them, and also remain patient.
Domestic violence accounts for 15% of all violent crimes in Hawaii, with over 65% of reported victims being women.
What I'm about to share is a story from a domestic abuse survivor. I always thought that I was a strong person and wouldn't end up with anyone who would put their hands on me. Well, he put his hands on me and I stayed. We became a ohana, having keikis and making a home. I thought he'll never put his hands on me again, but the verbal abuse never stopped. What broke us? He put his hands on me for the last time. What we feel inside is what we need to listen to. I felt he was using again, like he was when he first started. He was a smooth talker and I had no proof. CPS didn't listen to me. However, I met DVAC and they heard me loud and clear because it turns out I wasn't alone. I wasn't the only one that this happened to. They showed me I'm not alone and I don't need to be scared to speak up. We can end this by fighting to end domestic violence.
In a single day in Hawaii, domestic violence programs served 505 victims.
41% of Hawaii domestic violence programs report being understaffed, underfunded, or both.
I stand with you and I will fight for you.
You are strong and you will get through this. There are people who love and support you.
Let's end domestic violence.
Let's end domestic violence.
Let's end domestic violence.
Let's end domestic violence.
Let's end domestic violence. Together we can do this.
Please consider donating to the Domestic Violence Action Center, a nonprofit organization that is hard at work making a difference in the lives of island families, children, and marginalized communities across Hawaii. They are committed to addressing domestic violence and other forms of harm through leadership, unique services, legal representation, survivor and system advocacy, community education, and social change work. Visit domesticviolenceactioncenter.org to learn more and to donate. Mahalo.